Hello, beautiful souls. Today I wanted to share with you a little bit of my creative process, and especially about my drawings that I do. I make two types of drawings. One type is in black ink and red ink, while the other one is in ultramarine blue ink. So those, I mean, I've tried other things which were not so lucky in terms of results, but yeah, that's pretty much the two types of colors that I use for my drawings. And so the drawing I wanted to present to you today, or to show you today, is called Pleiades, and it's this one here. There's a little bit of a, okay, so I don't know if you can see it well. So Pleiades is obviously made from blue ink, ultramarine blue ink. And pretty much all my drawings are made from abstract motifs. So I do not, well, usually I would say that 99% of the time my drawings are not representative or illustrative of something. They are more a series of abstract motifs and patterns, and usually the influence, or I would say the inspiration in terms of motifs and patterns, comes either from the vegetal world, from the plant world, and also the animal world. But again, not in a representative way. So usually you will find, you know, scales, elements of, you know, plant-like, but it's never really clear. You know, it doesn't represent flowers or plants or animals. It's textures, it's patterns. So all of this kind of gets mixed up in a sort of atmosphere, which usually represents a form of cosmos or space environment with planets and things like that. And honestly, I mean, I really cannot say why or how I started doing these types of drawings. It was a sort of an intuitive process, a desire to just sit down and let anything that comes, you know, to mind, or not to the mind, but to the hand, anything that comes naturally, just be, you know, because I'm the type of person who's very organized and very, you know, into my, I have lists of things to do. I'm a to-do list type of person, and I guess a part of me, I mean, even in my creative process, I can be a bit like that. You know, I'm very sort of, everything, you know, has to have like a process, and everything has to be organized, and everything is dated, and so I think that somehow a part of me needed to be more, I guess, you know, making things in a more natural way without thinking, without analyzing anything, which is pretty rare for me. So I guess this form of drawing was a way for me to get out of my head mostly, and yeah, and just be into this drawing, because usually what happens is that, you know, I will, if I give you an example from the Pleiades here, is that I will draw an outline, you know, basic outline of the big circle and a couple of circles within the circle, or a couple of shapes within the circle with my pencil. But that's pretty much it. You know, when this is like outlined, then after that I just, you know, pick up my ink and my little, you know, point there. I don't know how it's called in English, in a stylet, in a point. And then I just, you know, I just dip it in the ink, and here I go. I have no idea what it's going to be like. And these types of drawing honestly take between 6 and 8 hours to do, because it has a lot of detail and it's very intricate. So basically, at any time during the drawing, not only can I, actually drop a bit of ink on my drawing, which, happened to me a couple of times, which is really a good lesson in letting go and be peaceful and zen inside. But, yeah, things like that happen. But also, it's just that, you just have these basic outlines, and then you're there with your pen or whatever, and you're just like, okay, I'm just gonna wing it and do it and see what happens. So, there are a lot of motifs that I'm used to utilize during my drawings. But I mean, I'm definitely not thinking this in advance. So I just, I go for it. And depending on the shape, depending on what's around, I will tend to make contrasts with darker zones and lighter zones and things like that to make it sort of a harmonious for the eye, visually. But the thing again is, I don't have a title in mind. I don't have an idea in mind. I have no idea what the thing will be at the end. It's a very sort of improvised thing. So I've got a friend who told me, but you're channeling. I was like, what? Again, like I've said in the past in other videos, I'm really into the personal development and spiritual stuff and whatever. And channeling is something, I'm totally comfortable with, and I see a lot of channelers out there, and for me it's like a totally normal process. But like me being a channeler, like I don't think so. Like, oh, you know how it is, we never give ourselves the credit of what we do. But anyway, what I mean by channeling is that I'm just doing this, and it's a bit like the writing, which I will talk in another video, is that it's not something I do while thinking about it. This is something that just comes out of me. So in a way, it is a form of channeling, in the sense that I'm just sitting there with my pen, and I let life just draw through me somehow, and so drawing is something I've been doing since I was a kid. When I was a small kid, when things were not going so well around me, either in family context or school or whatever, and when I was feeling, sad, or I was feeling not understood or whatever, my remedy was drawing. And at the time, it was more illustrating things, at my level of capacity then. But it is the same process today, in the sense that, when I draw, I just totally disconnect from my worries or my fears or my sadness or whatever. And well, it's not that I disconnect entirely from who I am, because I'm really, really present when I'm drawing. It's a very a mindful process for me. But what I mean is that I get out of my head, and I'm not into like this, hamster um, thing where, think about a bunch of things that, fall that are get on your nerves or whatever. You just, I just let go from there. That's a really good cure for me to get out of my head. And so this is how my drawings are done. I mean, like I said, it's about, it takes about 6 to 8 hours for each drawing. And it's something that really calms me, appeases me, and makes me feel just good, because I'm obsessed by colors, and mostly I'm obsessed by the color blue, as you can see around me. Blue is something that just tranquilizes me, it just calms me, and it's something that I find so beautiful. I vibrate to the color blue so deeply that I feel like I could just eat that color, that ink, that is just so drink it. It's so beautiful. And that ultramarine ink for me is like it's something that I'm so in love with. I use it in everything I do. In my drawings, but also when I decorate, when I blue is my thing. So this is what these particular drawings are all about. So Pleiades here again, I'll show you the drawing here again, refers to the Pleiades, which I don't know if some of you ever heard about, but the Pleiades are a constellation, or a cluster of stars, more exactly, in the Taurus constellation. And it's a place that was that's always been kind of magical for me. I don't know, for some reason I I'm not going to get into the whole spiritual thing again, but for me, it's just a place that's a bit magical. And, you know, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but the Pleiades have this bluish haze around the stars. There's 9 stars and much more, but 9 very visible. And there's a haze around them, and it's when you see it from, you know, from Earth. So it's a really beautiful cluster of stars, and it's a magical place. For me anyway. In my imagination, it's a magical place for some reason. Okay, so that's for the Pleiades, and yeah. So this particular drawing, I don't know if which inspire which, but the drawing is complementary in some way to an excerpt of my writing I did in my novel called surprisingly Blue. My novel is not yet available in English nor in French because I'm working on the last finishing details of the editing in French at least, and it will eventually come out in French and in English, hopefully this year. And well, I mean, the English part will be out this year. The French definitely in a couple of months, so maybe even before that. And so I wanted to share with you a passage or an excerpt of my novel, Blue, which you know talks or mentions at least these Pleiades, which I'm obsessed, and that keep you know coming back within the novel, within the story. So that's it for my Pleiadian drawing, for my drawings from the or of the Pleiades. I will leave you in a couple of minutes with the actual excerpt. And also, I just wanted to say that usually all my drawings are available in my boutique, the originals, I mean, in my boutique on my website at abigaëllerichard.com. However, this one is not available for sale because it's my favorite one, so I keep it for myself. You know, one should always, you know, treat itself well. So yeah, so I'm not selling that one because it's closest to my heart. However, you can find this a beautiful drawing in my Redbubble boutique, which includes all the patterns that are can be printed on various objects. I mean, it can be paper, but it can also be framed or works of art. It can be on t-shirts, on mugs, on a bunch of things. So you, at the end of this video, you'll be able to see all the different options available for prints of this particular motif. And I will give you the link. I'll put the link on the description below of not only the blog post on my website, which shows not only this work of this drawing, but also the excerpt, this excerpt from my novel. And you'll also have there all the links to my Redbubble boutique with this particular motif on different objects. So that's it for today. I leave you here and I wish you a beautiful day. Bye.